Hello, and welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on? What's the haps?
I'm good. I'm fresh off another move. Feeling that high.
I watched the move. I watched on Instagram stories, and I just get such I get a happiness from it. Just seeing you move for the 7,000th time in my life.
I mean, it's getting a little absurd.
How's it with the in-laws? Living with them, you're by the beach, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 12 hours.
Okay.
But so far,
so good.
So far, so good. But I have to say, and I mean, I don't really like talk up Mike that much, but I think that he's been the past 24 hours, he's been really great. Moved on his birthday, didn't care, didn't complain. Has very much your sensibility of like, I don't really care.
It's a birthday.
Yes.
I think a lot of guys are that way too. Like when I meet a guy who's like a big birthday guy, I'm like, what's up with this dude?
Right.
You know, like let me have, I don't, it's just not like
I would have been bitching like the entire day about having
it's my birthday.
Right.
That's not a guy thing to
I
me.
would have been complaining the whole time. He really didn't complain at all. We went to Verizon. He didn't care. I was like, can we stop by? He was just like, sure. Like, we're just running errands. Didn't really mind at all. I thought he was like, just very cool about it. And then when we got to his parents, I think he was very good at like going out of his way to make sure that I was like comfortable, that I had space, that I had like my own time to like decompress.
Right. No, Mike's a great guy.
Very doting.
Doting,
Yes.
but also like, I would say from what I know about him and seeing you together, seems like a perfect move boyfriend.
He was when he's there. But in the past, sometimes in the past, he's been like working and I've handled the move. But this time he was on it.
But he'd be calm, cool, collected, not really. You need someone that's like the director, like over there, that. No, in that corner. Be careful with that. And then you need the producer who is just sitting back like, okay.
It is so funny that you just said that because literally the 7 days leading up to the move, he was like, can you stop directing me? He was like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you wrap that thing up there and make sure you put that in the box for your parents and like make sure. And then when I was leaving, because I had to leave in the middle of the move to go do something, and he was like, stop giving me all the. I know what to do.
Right.
For giving me all the instructions.
Well, I just saw you just went to your pointer finger. That was a strong pointer finger you just gave.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that because I get that from my mom. My mom does this thing, and all 8 of her children make fun of it. We call it the hook.
The hook.
The hook.
Okay.
But it's usually when she's saying something like about one of our dads, or she's saying something kind of mean.
She's trying to make a point.
Right.
Yeah.
She goes, and ask your father to do that. It's a hook and a swivel.
If you're not on YouTube, you got to see this. It is a very specific pointer.
It's a very specific pointer.
It's a talent.
We all do it now as like a way to make fun of her.
Sure.
We'll say, and why don't you ask? You have to enunciate when you do the hook.
Right.
So you have
it's
to go,
the exclamation point.
Why don't you ask him to go do it?
I love it so much. Oh my God. And it does look very momish to me.
Yes. And
that idea of like, it's not like a straight off like Harry Potter wand throw. It's like a lacrosse stick. Cradle. I love it.
And you knew she meant business when she was doing the hook. So it was all kind of, we've taken the power back by making fun of it, but that is her signature move. And he's seen it, so he really doesn't like when I do a point.
Because you're becoming her.
Yes, he doesn't like that at all.
This is wonderful. I think this is what relationships are built on. Moves and talon throws and things like that. And you're becoming your mother and all those things.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's all that. But what's going on with you? We've got the special coming out.
Special.
In less than a week, it will be here.
August 15th, you can go on Netflix and search Jared F. I come up.
Oh, wow.
If you go and like...
What if there's no F? Who comes up?
I'm in there. I'm in the group.
Okay, good.
Jared comes up in the group. Jar, I come up in the group.
Oh, wow.
If you type Jar, I'm in it pops up.
You're in the lead of the Netflix Jar contest.
Jar content, right. Right, exactly. Yeah. There's like the movie Jarhead and then me.
Second. I like it.
I'm there. So if you search it, you can hit more on it and get a reminder. I actually, by this point, there might be a trailer or a bit that's
really?
up there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, I don't want to be repeating myself. I don't want people to go, oh, it's, Jared Freed Netflix hour, you up, whatever. I just want to let people know, go watch, enjoy, share. This is really like, I need the help, like if I'm being honest, like,
I don't think you need the help. I think people are going to be watching this like crazy.
I just want, I just want it to trend. I agree. I don't need it, but I want it to like, I want to find more. I want people to come to this podcast because of the special, like I want more people to listen to this. I wanted to, I really am looking forward to seeing like what happens, like it's like, this it's going to come out, and I think we're going to do some sort of watch party. If you keep up with my Instagram, we're going to figure something out. I might go down to Florida and just like videotape my parents watching it, which would be funny. I don't know.
Live stream of them watching of them screaming at your show.
Yeah, me commentating on them, watching them commentating on me.
Yeah. Are you going to now officially be the most famous person in their Boca community?
Maybe not. There's some famous faces in there. I'm definitely known in that community.
Okay.
You just hear the whispers of Jews. That's the comedian, like that. You can hear them talking about you as you walk around their area. But I don't know. I feel like super content. Like
you seem like you have like
I'm at ease.
Yeah, a whole new level of relaxation.
I really do feel it. Like this past, I'm trying to like enjoy this run up to it coming out. You know, like I'm trying to enjoy. I was at the Comedy Cellar. I did all these shows and like just doing new material that's like working. Like I feel very comfortable. I feel this sense of confidence from it. Where it's like there's like when you try to do something like. When you create betches, there's got to be a point where you're like, no, this is a real job.
That point wasn't always obvious for sure.
Right. In the beginning. And like, it took a long time. Like, this is what you do. This is who I am. So
now you feel like your career choice is like 100% validated.
A little bit. Yeah. You feel validation. You feel, and like the next hour of material is already ready. Like, I'm ready to go on the road. Like I'm ready to get out there and do some bits. And I like really have fun doing these new jokes. So I'm on the road, jaredfree.com. I'm coming to all these towns. But most importantly, August 15th, want you to watch it, want you to enjoy it, want you to share it, make it your Instagram story. I've been hearing about like watch parties. That's like the most amazing compliment in the world. I'm truly like touched by it.
I love that.
I was getting.
You should do that thing like they do on The Bachelor. They used to. I don't know if they still do it, where they used to raid the homes of like the sorority girls watching The Bachelor.
I've thought about that. Like, what if I just showed up and then it would be funny if they're like, "Who is this?" And then someone's like, "That's the guy we're watching. That's him." Like, I just see these people just not sure what the fuck is. Get out of our house! Like,
I just picture like Sean Lowe showing up to the houses, taking his shirt off.
Is that what he did?
I think so. That was like part of their promo.
I will not be taking my shirt off.
I don't know if that would be acceptable these days. Right. You can't just show up at a sorority house and take your shirt off.
Hey, ladies.
And you can't just show up to a sorority house, take your shirt off anymore these days. You can't do anything.
Oh, so sensitive. Everyone's gotten crazy. Yeah. That's, I don't know. I was thinking, but that's all for the Netflix special. But we got an invitation to a wedding.
We've been invited. Our first wedding.
Our first wedding.
Well, as hosts.
Right. This is exciting. So did they wrote us a note?
How did they mail it here? How did they find out the office?
You can go on Google
Maps.
Find
it out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just put in betches.
Oh,
and
okay, that's not that.
You didn't see the paparazzi outside and all the people holding the signs? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous people that walk through these
That's
doors.
right. These hallowed halls.
Oh wow, they are, and they are also J&J.
Yes.
Love that. So she wrote. So we got an invitation with a special note for us. It says, "You a pod." Plus Jared and Jordana helped us know what to look for in a relationship. Brought us together. Thank you, Betches and others. J&J.
Others.
Love J&J.
They're a J&J.
Yes. So
and it's a beautiful invitation. It is Jenna Salah and Jesus Mendoza, and they're getting married
in October.
San Jose, California. This is beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you so much. I don't think we'll be there. Consider this our RSVP.
Yeah, not going to make it.
Not going to make it, but the invitation, thank you. We'll have to send them some merch.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, as a gift. In lieu of a gift. In lieu of a gift here, we'll send you a U-Up hat.
Yeah, what cost me the least? We'll send that.
They're fans of the show. We want to make sure, something for their honeymoon.
I love it. I had something happen on the way here that I looked for metaphors for the dating world.
Okay.
In my everyday life.
Yeah.
I'm in line. Signs, just just things. I'm in line at getting coffee at Blackstone.
Yes.
Right. I famously go. I see a lot of U-Up fans there. People, I love going there. And there's a dad that does the morning shift, and then the two sons that do the later shift.
Of like working there.
Working there.
They're all related.
Oh yeah, it's a family affair.
Pop.
Mom and pop. I mean, they are the most colorful family. They are like, hey baby, hey honey, hey cousin, all that. They're the best.
How do you know they're related?
Because I talk to them every day.
Okay.
We've become.
Right.
Then they heard someone told them. It started because someone told them I talked about them on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
And then started talking with them. They're great guys, all of them. And then
you still paying?
I'm still sadly paying.
Okay.
I'm not, every now and again.
Mom and pop.
I get a refill every now and again.
Okay.
Refills are good.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the relationship.
You have a Netflix special. I assume they think you can afford it.
Right. They're like, look at this. Yeah, Mr. Netflix. That's me. I go in there and the guy, I'm there early for me.
What's early?
It was 8 a.m.
Okay.
And this is what the whole story is about.
Dawn. Okay.
For me,
yeah.
Well, that's what I said. So the dad's still there. So he goes, "You look tired." Which
I don't like that.
Women don't like that. Men don't take offense to it.
I don't like that. Yeah.
I know. I thought about that too. Like you look tired. Like
to me, you look tired means you look like shit.
Right.
I mean, what else could it mean?
I think most men take it as I look tired. Like that's the ego of a man. This is our lucky. This is what we're lucky for, is that we don't go that extra. Oh,
right,
what's
you're
this
not
guy?
Questioning,
right.
if you've peaked and fallen off.
Right. I don't have that. And I think that's why a lot of, if you want to give empathy to the murderer, you go, well, if a man says you look tired, he probably didn't think that through.
Sure. Okay.
So
I've had this discussion with Mike about the you look tireds.
He thought that he says the same thing.
He said it to me in the past, and I'm like, I don't like that. It's
you threw a talent out there
for me.
So he goes, "You look tired," and I go, "Yeah, it's early for me." And I go for you, because he gets there at like 3 a.m. Right. I go. It's afternoon for you.
I think if you don't have kids, 8 a.m. is early. If you have people with kids, wake up at like 6 or like something like that.
Something, whatever they do.
They do. If you don't have kids, I think 8 perfectly fine to say that's early.
Also, it's early for me.
Yes.
So but he goes, "You look tired." I go, "It's early for me. It's afternoon for you." Because I know that he gets there at 3 a.m. and I go, "It's early." And then this woman behind me chimes in, Chimey McChimestein. She goes, You must live a charmed life if it's early for you now."
This woman?
This random woman.
Okay.
And then the guy, the dad, he goes, "Oh no, he's a comedian." And now the whole place is like, "Comedian?" Right. Yeah. And then they look at me, they're like, "That's not Seinfeld, he's a loser." No. And I'm like, "Well, I gotta go.
Autographs later.
Netflix, August 15th, please watch. So this all happens, and I was thinking of like the dating world. Like to me, I looked at that woman, I was like, you don't know my life. Like you don't know what time I go. Like I wanted to look at her and go, yeah, I guess I do live a charmed lifestyle. I went to bed at 8, woke up at 8.
I mean, it's a big assumption to make. What if you were, what if you have, again, a job where you work night shifts, which you do.
I do. I yelled at the Bachelorette last night. Yes. So that was my job. And it is funny when you think of it. I was thinking about in the dating world. We're all the star of our own movie.
Right.
And maybe you're on an app and you're like, well, this person ghosted me or this person did that.
Judgy.
We're all very judgy. We all make our own assumptions, and it's all in the key of me. When you write, that's a Tony Kornheiser thing. He says, I write in the key of me.
Yes.
And she's writing her life in the key of me. She's looking at me going, early, 8 o'clock? Does he know? What a charmed life he must.
She's
not even
jealous.
but also in her mind, she's like, Everyone goes to bed at the same time as me. Everyone's going through the same things as me. No one has it harder than me. No one has it easier than me. Everyone's living in the key of me. So it's like when we're on these dating apps and you start to get down on yourself and you make these assumptions and you're like, everyone's got shit going on.
Yeah.
That person that didn't call you back, the person that didn't make the date, like if you just operate, I just think that's like relates.
You never assume the best of anyone else.
Anyone
especially
else.
when, again, you're swiping through so many people. I can understand why it would be like that.
Absolutely.
I saw something online that had a similar, I wanted to discuss it on the show. I saw something with sort of like similar vibe. It was a post on like Instagram that was from about a Reddit thread.
Okay.
So I don't like read the thread of the Am I the Asshole Reddit thread, but I saw it made its way to Instagram, so I saw it there. And it says, woman cancels date after man refuses to wear pink to see the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a very funny...
it's very funny, and it's also like, you're not going to play along?
Right.
You're not going to have fun with the Barbie movie?
You must hate women.
Right. It can only mean one thing. Right. It's okay. It can only mean that this movie... Yeah, I was going to make a Barbie joke last night. Just I know people are...
Would you wear
Nobody's
pink
upset.
to see the Barbie movie?
Of
If someone
course.
asked you?
Let's do this. It's a Barbie movie. It's a once in a lifetime.
Have some fun.
Yeah, it won't be, when Barbie 2 comes out, it won't have the same energy as this one.
No, definitely not.
And Barbie 2 is coming. You better fucking believe it.
I think it's the other, they're making like now all the other Mattel toys into movies.
Yeah, I've heard that. And
Barney, Polly Pocket.
and they're all like this like adult themed, I think Barney's like an adult movie.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I saw that, yeah.
It's almost like this feels like we're living in a mockumentary of our adulthood. Like there's sometimes you're like, yeah, Barney, the Barney on his sexual journey. You're like, that would be a joke in a movie.
I'm a little nervous
Right.
to see what they do with it.
Do we want to get into the episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. What are we talking about today?
Okay.
We have some feedback.
Yeah, we got some feedback. We're going to start off talking about age gaps.
Do we want to read the feedback first? This is about, all of it has to do with ages.
You want to read the feedback?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Dr. Drew's age gap relationship slander.
Ooh.
Coming in
big
hot.
one.
J&J, I love the podcast. Thank you for all the amazing content. I am a London-based 26-year-old female working in the legal profession and wanted to ask a question of both of you from the Dr. Drew episode. Dr. Drew discussed two things that astonished him about modern dating. One of those is younger women dating older men. I wish you three had circled back to his comment about this, as I am a younger woman. I think still. Yes, at 26, you're a younger.
There, as a woman, that's a question you have about yourself constantly. Am I still a young woman? I think
from the time
I'm
you're
about to be 34. I'll be
16.
34 in September. I think I'm a woman.
I think
Not
you're a younger
young woman.
No, you're a young
woman.
woman.
No, I think 34. It's funny. I was talking to my friends who
Yeah.
are all like turning 34 this year, and they were like, 34, you are a woman. You're not like...
Not young
You're
woman
not
anymore.
a young woman. You're a woman.
So you think
nothing wrong with being a woman,
right?
But like,
no, nothing wrong. So you think if someone was like young lady, you'd be like, stop, cut the shit.
I mean, yeah,
you'd be a little annoyed.
Would you call a 34-year-old woman a young lady?
I would. I've had this
You call her
discussion
lady.
actually recently.
Move it, lady.
Move it, lady.
Yes.
What am I? You're a cabbie.
We're not quite at ma'am stage.
No, ma'am would be me trying to insult you.
Yes, but woman
young
or
wo-
lady
no,
is,
young
I would
woman.
say- you still think I'm a young woman?
Are you
Okay.
geriatric pregnancy yet?
Not next year.
I think that's when you become a woman.
Yes.
I think a geriatric pregnancy
Fair. Okay,
woman.
fine. We'll say 35 is a woman, 34 is a young woman.
34 young woman.
I'm still 33 though.
And then 40 old wench. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What
Stop
age
it, please.
what
Don't
age
kill
is
me.
old hag?
Old hag. The minute you start using your pointer finger as a
Yes.
talon.
Going down.
just old hag is just anyone. When you start clawing at people, it's not even an age. It's just using the claw.
Just a sensibility.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so am I a young woman or not? Okay, now, who tends to date men 8 to 12 years older than me? I am curious why Dr. Drew finds this astonishing. My friends describe me as an old soul, and I often get along better with men at least 8 years older than me. I don't believe there is anything wrong with this. My motivation, referring back to Dr. Drew's comment, is that older men generally tend to be more emotionally mature and settled, which vibes better with my personality. I am interested to hear your thoughts on younger women dating older men. As always, thank you for spreading the dating wisdom. Sincerely, I like my men how I like my wine. Aged.
Candace, can you remind us what Dr. Drew said about age gaps?
Because I kind of feel like we did respond. Like, it's not the idea of younger women dating older men, and I don't think of that astonishing.
Neither do I. I mean,
that's like the least surprising thing in the world to me.
Depends on the age gap, I think. I
Sure.
think it's case sensitive.
You two didn't really say much about it. It was Dr. Drew saying that he finds it strange that young women are dating older men.
Really?
And then he did say that he doesn't understand their motivations by it.
Oh,
Really? I can't believe we didn't say anything. That's one of those things I'm like, I can't believe you'd be astonished by that.
There was a lot going on in that conversation that day, so that was
Okay. One of the many things that was said.
That's why I didn't fully recall even talking about that. I think.
Right.
I mean, I think it's all relative. I mean, we've talked about the weirdness of the Nick Viall age gap. But anyway, I think it's all case dependent. I don't think it's weird generally.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's actually the least weird thing generally. Like if I was to, like, I mean, since I've been alive, like the freshmen dating the seniors,
Right.
You know, that's what happens. You know, when you become a freshman in high school, all your freshman girlfriends, they all go, who are the junior boys? Who are the senior boys? Because they're more established. They're more, you know, there's stability. There's confidence in an older guy. And again, in college, the same thing happens.
Well,
the young girls date the senior guys.
Especially, I mean, in high school, I think there's like different motivations by the age gap, right? So in high school and even in college, you're kind of, I think women just mature faster than
Right,
men.
I would agree.
So if you're, 14, 15, you're probably, the guys your age who are 14, 15 are like probably acting like they're 12.
Right. Same when you're 23 and they're 23 too.
Yeah.
23-year-old guys are acting like they're, 18-year-old guys.
Right.
And in college still, and 23-year-old women, a lot of times are like, I'm ready to do dinners.
Exactly.
And hang with my, have a conversation. I just think this is like,
I also think that like the the older you are, the more age gap you can have and the less weird it is.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like, how much can you connect with someone?
Right.
I think that's what it comes down to when people go, this is weird. I mean, I think when, not to speak for Dr. Drew, but when he says astonishing, I think he's a certain age and a certain generation. He's probably seeing a lot of his friends get divorces.
Right.
Go and then go with younger women that he's going, and he's not divorced. He's been in a long time marriage, and he's probably thinking, how could they even, how could they even connect?
What would I even do with a 30-year-old?
Right. He's putting key of me.
Right.
He's going, so I can understand if I'm to empathize with the wording he used of like, that's astonishing. I'd be like, yeah, probably for him, where he's in a marriage where he's happy and he's seeing his friends who he knew their wives, move on to someone who he has nothing in common with whatsoever because they're talking about things he has no understanding of or that he feels very old for. And that's why he probably uses that wording. To me, at 38, dating someone who's like, if I was to date someone I see someone who's 25 on the dating apps and I go, what am I going to talk about? What are we going to do?
What if let's say there was an old soul.
Of course. I think that's a big part of the next email.
Right.
Because I want to read that. Can we read the next email?
Let's
Because
read the
I think
next
this is because I was thinking about this as far as like, because I'm putting myself in the shoes of the people,
emailer, yeah.
of the emailer. And I'm like, to me, so much about this is nuance and what this podcast is all about. And, and let's read the email because I think it's important.
Hi, J&J. Thank you for all you do. Even though I feel attacked from your age gap episode. Kidding.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Right? Jumping right in. It's just fun. It goes back to exactly what you were saying, like something that we didn't even like hear.
Right. It's like, how could they say this?
Right.
But they seem very rational, and I understand their question isn't crazy. I think the idea of like, what do you mean?
Right.
I can't date old. And it's like,
well,
no one's saying that.
Here's the other thing, and I'm about to read the email. Don't worry, I'm going to get to it. But That's the thing about comments. To one person, they mean nothing and they don't remember them. For another person, they could hear that and it could ruin their whole day.
Yeah, you look tired.
That's what
I mean,
yeah,
totally.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you're right.
Like from you know what I mean? That I might be
Right.
thinking about that for all week.
Right.
Whereas someone else might not even remember that someone said that if they didn't take it personally.
Absolutely.
Jumping right in, I'm a 27-year-old girl or woman.
A girl. I'm giving her a girl.
Okay.
I'll decide.
Okay. And I'm starting to have feelings for a 23-year-old boy, and I need your advice.
That's a boy.
That's a boy. Okay. I really like him. He is kind, mature, and thoughtful. He is an incredible communicator and patient with all of my concerns. He has voiced that he wants to date, and I just keep saying that I want to take it slow and have denied any labels at this time. Here is what I'm feeling. I'm recently out of a 1.5-year relationship, and while nervous about getting into another relationship so quickly, I have been trying to actively date. I've also felt very close with myself and started to feel good on my own. 2, I'm worried about the judgment of my parents and family. I told my mom about the 23-year-old, and she said, you might as well date your brother. My brother is 23. That comment doesn't even make any sense. Your brother could be the same age as you or 2 years older, hypothetically.
Right. You might as well date your brother is a crazy response.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It would be like one thing if she was like, you might as well date like, your niece or your nephew, like who's like 10. Like
just the crossover into incest so quickly.
It doesn't even make any sense.
No, it's crazy.
I'm worried we are in different life stages.
It's as crazy as dating your brother. No, it is not.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay.
I'm worried we are in different life stages. I'm about to graduate grad school and might be moving next summer depending on jobs. He has an entry-level finance job at a bank and is applying for different jobs in the area. I want to have kids, so does he, but who knows if our timelines would match up and financially we would be on the same page. What should I do? I'm nervous to let my guard down and dive 100% into this relationship, but I sort of want to. I want to be smart about this. I want to avoid wasting my time and avoid heartbreak. I would love to talk more and hear some of your thoughts. Thank you, Cougar Girl.
Well, let me start with you're never going to avoid heartbreak. Sorry. Take that off the table.
Yeah.
Not even worth.
I think I don't think she's saying avoid heartbreak. I think she means more wasting my time.
Absolutely. Fine. Here's the thing that all of her concerns are warranted. Like her, I can understand everything she's feeling.
Right. I mean, there is obviously a double standard because I think a 27-year-old guy dating a 23-year-old woman,
no one blinks an eye.
No one thinks about it or cares. I do think that, like, if my friend at 27 told me she was dating a 23-year-old, it would be like a topic.
Right. Well, because what we're all doing is we're all doing our percentages. Mm-hmm. Like when we look at a situation, we look at the percentages of risk. The risk, the risk percentages.
Right.
We go, okay, if I was to meet, when I see a 25-year-old on a dating app, I go, the percentages are low. Right. That we're gonna get along. Mm-hmm. If I met them out in person, I have this great conversation.
Could be different.
The percentages change.
Yeah.
And especially when, again, this isn't a dating app scenario, but that's what we do on the dating apps. We're literally, the cash register is rolling all the time. We're going, this look, this from this area has this written in their profile, percentages. And as you get older, and what this person is doing, you become more and more cynical to those. You become more risk averse.
Right.
And so she's saying if she was 23, date a 23-year-old, she'd still be like, he's a 23-year-old guy who's entry level. He probably doesn't want to relate. She would still have concerns about a 23-year-old guy if she was 23.
Yeah. I mean,
it just would be less, but she wouldn't care as much.
Right. I mean, it's kind of, I guess a 23-year-old guy is less likely to want a relationship than a 27-year-old, but there are many, many 23-year-old guys who are in relationships. It's not like that itself is like so rare.
No, not rare at all. It's but it's what the reason she writes this email is like, okay, what are people going to think? Because I've already thought it. And now I'm wondering, am I wasting my time? The time waste factor is her going on average. And what ends up happening is the extremes take over the conversation. Someone goes, well, I met my husband and he was 23 and I was 27. And you want to look at that person and go, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. It could work but anything can work.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. But this person's anxieties are based on risk.
Yeah.
And I don't see it as that big a risk to me.
Well, it's the
like
kind
the
of-
more she dives into it.
It's the kind of thing where, like, let's say she's 27 and she would like to date someone a year or two before getting engaged, hypothetically. This person, this 23-year-old, might be less likely to be interested in that, even if they are interested in a relationship at this moment.
I agreed. But here's the thing. They're an adult and they're a human too. They also are doing the math. So when I'm 23 and I meet a 27-year-old, I'm doing the percentages.
You would be. You wouldn't just be like having fun until asked otherwise.
You have to. No. 27-year-old woman with friends who are getting married and engaged and and saying to me, this is my part of life. In the next couple of years, I see myself moving into the next phase. How could I ignore that?
Right.
And again, just like she's doing the percentages on him, I used to do this all the time, and now I feel
like
stupid.
Men play dumb in this scenario.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
You let us. He has no emotional intelligence.
How does she not let him then? How would she go about this to like find out?
I see myself getting engaged within the next couple of years if I get serious with someone. How do you feel about that?
Right.
I
find
don't
out
know.
very quick, I guess.
Yeah, that's a reveal.
Right.
If we go to our patented reveal that I'm sure someone's stolen on TikTok, I'm sure someone's already selling reveal T-shirts. But I just think, he is also doing the probabilities. What's the probability that she wants to move on and have a serious relationship? Higher than the 23-year-old woman.
Right.
What can I? And again, it could be one or the other. What can I get away with is a thought process he could be doing. What can I get away with, which means he doesn't want a real relationship? Or he'll actually think, do I want to be in a...
Do I see it?
I see it?
Yeah.
And it can happen. I think like you only waste your time when you don't listen to the things people are saying.
Right.
Like,
or ask the right questions.
Right. So like when you say like, I don't want to waste my time, like, I don't think it's a waste of time to like go on dates with this guy and see how it feels and be totally open and honest with him about how you're feeling and what you see a life to be.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time when he goes, yeah, we'll see. And then you don't listen to that.
Right. No, I agree. And I think the fact that he's 23 just means you might want to pay a little bit more attention to that a little earlier than you might otherwise.
Right. And, it's okay to make assumptions.
Right.
Like your family's going to judge, the saying it's the same as dating your brother. Yeah, sure. But then, everyone makes their assumptions and then they see the reality. And then they give you feedback again.
Right.
They go, 23, you might as well date your brother. And you go, well, I really like him. I'm going to bring him over for dinner. And then they go, wow, he's like totally, I'm shocked. He doesn't seem like a 23. Seems to have it all together. Oh, yeah, we kind of like him. Then you get the real feedback.
Right.
They're doing their feedback based on percentages.
Yeah. And like you said, people are individuals. He could be totally ready, but I would put that in his file.
Oh, it's on the resume.
I would,
yeah.
I would pay attention.
I wouldn't, listen, for me, it's as small as I don't want to stand in a bar.
Take him to a bar, see what he's okay with doing.
Right. Does he want to go to dinner or does he want to be out until 3 a.m. on a Friday night?
Right.
Some people are 40 and want to be out till 3 a.m. on a Friday night. The percentages are lower. You're more likely to find a 23-year-old who wants to stay out till 3 a.m. than a 40-year-old who wants to stay out till 3 a.m.
100%.
That's just.
Well, that's why some
math.
people date older men if they're not interested in that either.
This brings it back to that, which is like, why would a woman want an older man? Well, the percentages that he is ready to settle down, looking for the same things as her, more secure in where he is in life,
right,
are all higher than 25-year-old guy.
And it's also the things you're like societally, right or wrong, trained to sort of be interested in as a woman, which are sort of like status and financial like capabilities. Whereas what are men trained to be interested in? Physical attraction
and adventure.
Yeah.
There's I think that's like the idea of like, guys just want to go out and, be a little bit crazier, a little bit like, not as, let's just stay in a Netflix,
right.
Like even, you meet a 50-year-old man who's like got the paisley shirt under the collars and, and you're like, why is he out?
Right.
And he thinks he's 26.
Adventure. Yeah.
You go to You go to Blue Martini in Naples, Florida, you'll see a lot of men there in their 50s that you're like, they don't know they're 50.
Right. I mean, I don't think any guy wants to be that guy.
I'm trying my best not to be.
Okay. Well, I mean, you hear about what age is the most swiped on any app, and I believe it's 18 or 21
For women.
For women.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what are
Well,
what are,
but then again,
that doesn't tell you how many people are like in relationships at that age, but
right. But here comes the icky part where it's like, again, when you're swiping on an app, there's this like, okay, it's would I fuck, would I date, what,
Right.
what, and again, for this guy at 23, when he's looking at 27-year-old woman whose friends are all getting engaged or married, the percentages are she probably wants something more serious.
Right.
So I stay away, back away. That's fraught with danger.
mm-hmm.
When you swipe on a 23-year-old woman, you go, oh, they should probably, a little more casual, a little more loose. Doesn't really, time isn't of,
Right.
I don't.
Well, that makes it less personal. I think that's not icky. That almost feels like better.
Fair.
It's like, it doesn't feel like, oh, like I'm past my prime and I look terrible.
Oh no,
And I look tired. It's
No.
more like, like the ante is up for dating me.
That's a really good way to put it.
That seems more flattering to me than just like, oh, like I'm not young anymore and like I don't have it. Like I feel like that's the mentality that you have is like I don't have it anymore because I'm not 21 and I'm not getting the most swipes. But the way you're putting it, I think, is a lot less personal and it feels a lot almost like more empowering, or you feel higher worth if it's like I can't afford that.
Right,
Like,
right. I mean, that's exact. But to reverse it too, that's why this woman that wrote in about liking older men makes total sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
right.
Okay, they're more likely to be the settled down person.
True. Yeah.
So it's percentages. We're all doing the math. Mm-hmm. Like that's like we and whoever you're dating's doing the math just like you. So when you say I'm going out with 23-year-old, I don't know if I can. He's doing math too. I'm positive.
He's not asking some questions.
Yeah. Let's do some awkward sex. You ready?
Want to read it?
UUP at Betches.com. UUP at Betches.com. This was a good one. I just enjoyed the subtleness. It's more subtle than our usual ones, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more. Okay, so feather, paid subscriber.
Common, I would imagine. More common.
More common than this person thinks it is.
I would say.
Paid subscriber, just recently saw you at your Boston show. Love you. Please keep solving dating for us every week. We will. I'm a 33-year-old female that's actively dating, mostly through the apps. I feel the need to disclose that. I have some enormous boobs that have often been the focus of a lot of my sexual encounters.
That is not surprising to me.
Not to me as well.
Right. And if you're a boob guy, you're a boob guy for a reason.
Let me speak for all boob guys. I'm with them.
You're a boob guy.
The boob brethren.
Okay.
Yeah. I went out with a guy from Bumble, and we had a pretty normal first date. Ended with a little makeout. Second date, he suggested a movie and chill, so I assumed he was trying to fuck, but I went with it. I love that. I love if every guy just knew that was the attitude. Like,
what?
Yeah, he's trying to fuck, but whatever. Like, I'll be like, well, I love this woman.
It's the dream.
He comes over. We put on a movie. And as things go, we started making out. Things were getting a little heated, and his dick came out.
I like how she's like, it came out. Like it arrived at the party.
This guy, hello. Just
whoa, what's that?
Oh, hey, who invited Dick? His dick came out. I asked if he wanted to go to my room. I live alone, so this was all happening in my living room. And he essentially said no. He was good where we were. Okay. I was using a bit of my hands and a little bit of my mouth. A little bit of my mouth. She like licking an ice cream cone?
Peck.
A little bit of my mouth. And next thing I know, he's straddling me on the couch. I'm sitting straight up back against the couch, and he's straddling me on his knees. And he starts to titty fuck me. As someone with some big old naturals, this isn't my first titty fuck rodeo. But normally, it's just foreplay. Not tonight. Not too long after he starts, I went to assist with my hands and he pushed it away, saying he was about to finish and proceeds to finish on my chest like a true gentleman. He went and got paper towels to clean me up and promptly got dressed and returned to watching the movie. I love how professional this all is.
This guy seems like what about her? I'm done.
What? You didn't get off from the titty rubbing?
That to me, this is the worst part. Turn on the movie. Like what?
Let's get back to Step Brothers.
It would be Step Brothers.
The dabbing with the towels.
Right.
Got you. Yeah.
Put on your clothes. Do you have any popcorn?
He went and got paper towels to clean me up, and then promptly got dressed and returned to watching the movie. So what do you think? I've never had someone do this to completion, and it felt like a super weird move. Is he just a big titty guy? Did he seize the opportunity to try something he's always wanted to? Does titty fucking actually do it enough to get a guy off? He texted me after he left, but I'm writing this the next day and haven't heard from him. To be honest, I think I'm okay with that, but wondering if this awkward sexual encounter was all he was after. Can't wait to hear you guys discuss. Sincerely, not my 40H cup of tea.
40H is
What, can I see some 40Hs? What do we deal with?
40H is very large.
That's like an amusement park ride. I gotta get on the coaster,
I don't have enormous breasts, so this isn't usually a thing for me. But have you had this experience that this woman is writing about, where you have?
I've titty fucked to completion.
Completion.
Yeah,
okay.
to completion. Yeah. But not in the, I don't think in this way where it's so like, just like a day at the office.
I hope you tended to the partner, unlike this guy.
I tend.
Okay.
So
I would
tend
imagine,
to
right.
be like, let me get you done first, and then I'll go do my thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you increase the volume? To me, that's the most offensive part.
Yeah, you got to do something for her.
Right. But he does, he sounds like an asshole.
Here's what I would say he did. Here's what I think happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think he and guys do this. And again, like this is, I'm making some assumptions. He's like, I don't want this. I'm not ready I don't want to deal with the responsibility of having sex with someone.
So he thinks this is less intimate.
Less intimate.
Okay.
That I do think. I think like we
Would
go
you
to the
equate that to like a hand job?
Yeah. I'd be like
a breast job.
A breast job. Yeah.
Okay.
I would be like, in my
to
mind,
me that would be more intimate to me personally.
The titty fucking?
I think so. It's like a blowjob is more intimate. It's like you're
blowjob is way different than titty fuck though.
Is it?
Intimate wise? The only part that's really intimate
is like just bobbing in front of your face, right?
Yeah, but that's as much as my elbow. You know, it's just I don't know. It's not in anything except.
I guess. The more sexually adventurous to me, the more intimate.
I guess the more.
I guess guys don't see it like that.
No, because this is just. I don't know. I wouldn't. I would. To me, this wouldn't be intimate. This is. I could do this, with my brother. As that mom said. I know. Okay. The only intimate part of this is that you're kind of rubbing your asshole on them, like you're the dog on the floor a little bit. It's very close to your. I don't know. It's not like I have like shit streak asshole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I don't know how I would feel about it. This is never someone. No one I've dated has had a desire for me for this.
He should go down on her. But going down and titty fuck, those are two. I think he's avoiding the bedroom because he's like, listen, we'll keep things out here. We'll keep it civil. Keep it.
You think that you
keep
think
it.
It's
keep
just
it,
so funny
like,
to me that you think it's so that going down on someone is so much more intimate than this.
Giving a blowjob. Or giving a
I
think this is way less intimate than cunnilingus.
Disagree.
Wow. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
What do we think?
Jorge's not here today, so we're not getting another male opinion.
I know. I'm sitting here.
Becca? No. You guys can also say no comment.
I agree with Jordana.
Right?
You agree? Listen. I'm not saying Jordana's wrong because I can't say that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
For girls, your face is right there.
If a woman sat on my face and got off by rubbing against my nose,
I think that's intimate.
I guess that's the same thing, right?
You don't think that's intimate?
I'd be into it. I'd be like, holy fuck!
That's eyes, that's ears, that's nose. All senses are involved.
Right, but I guess my face is different than I would think a chest. But again, your chest has sensitivities to it, and
it's so close to the face, so like you're in somebody's face.
Here's what the thing is. I think it's like your body is being used in this
as a device.
Yes, as
Yes.
essentially like that. I think
Mhm.
you know what I mean.
Right.
So to me, that feels more intimate.
I guess if there was lube involved, I'd think it's more intimate.
Would there have
I think
to
the
be?
dry titty fuck to me is just like
You'd have to, right? Or you'd be very.
I've done a dry titty fuck.
Okay. They
No,
don't.
sometimes listen. Lube has been involved, but I think for this woman, she's got enough titty
Okay.
to go lubeless.
Well, I called this not the breast.
That's a great name. It's so funny how different our opinions are on this, because it's like I heard this, I was like, oh yeah, he's trying to avoid sex because he doesn't want to be responsible.
Right.
He doesn't want to be the guy that fucked and left. He really wants to get off. He loves her titties. Like he's a fan, so he's like,
Yeah. I think it highlights the difference between what intimacy means to men and women. Because I do think men think of that too as like a blowjob or like going down on someone is less intimate. I think a lot of women think of that as more intimate.
right. Yeah, no, that I've heard from you. Yeah. There's some women that like love giving a titty fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Like,
I think if you're part of the community,
Right, the titty
the
titty committee.
large breast, the large breast titty committee, it makes a lot of sense.
I called this, okay, I actually took your side on one of my names.
Okay.
Titty cuck.
Okay.
She kind of got cucked.
She did.
just watched some
Yeah.
guy, get off. Boob and bounce.
That's good.
Chesty behavior.
I like it. These are gold.
Tit and run.
Tit and run. That's it.
Tit and run might be it.
Tit and run.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets.
Not the breast. Tit and run.
Not
There we
the
go.
breast
We
is-
did well today. Proud of us.
Oh, what did your, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Breaststroke is great.
That's very good.
Booby trapped.
Love that.
That's a good one too.
Booby trapped also great.
We all really came up with some good ones.
I know. It's lent itself to a lot of names.
Red flag or deal breaker? Guy just
And then
tit and
that's
runs.
it.
Yeah.
Tit and run, I'm out. That's very selfish,
Right.
I think, sexually.
I'm trying to think. Okay, if a woman sat on my face, used my nose to get off
Dabbed
with her
it.
clit,
With a paper towel.
dab me, and you're all done. Okay, let
And
me
then
fix you up.
And then just turn on the movie.
Turn on the movie.
No
We're watching
attention to your
Barbie.
penis.
I would be so
I'd feel a little
aghast.
used, I think. Yeah.
kind of hot. She
You always
used
say
me.
that. You always
I know.
say that.
I don't know. There's something like to me when someone has a plan.
Okay.
Like I'm always
if they
just
were, like,
like,
dry
wow,
humping
she
your knee?
fucking brought it. What?
What if they were just like dry humping your knee and then went back to the movie?
And just like came on
yeah.
my knee.
Yeah.
I'd be impressed. I'd be like, okay, I don't know. That's just using a piece of my body.
That's what I'm saying. You're
Right.
like, they're like,
But
you're
it's
using a piece of your body to get off.
I guess the difference is it's a not sexual piece. Like knee isn't. I guess nose isn't sexual.
Right.
But
That's what
titty,
I guess. Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
think I like.
Women have more sexual parts than
Let
men.
me see her Instagram again. No.
Well, this was a good one. Thanks for writing it in. UUP at betches.com.
Yeah, this was fantastic.
UUP at betches.com.
I love these ones because it's like the debate is built in. Like,
Yeah.
and I do get what he's doing, kind of.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
It's interesting, the different perspectives. Well, it's like goes back to it all comes back full circle. To him, maybe this was like we're more respectful.
Right.
If it were me, I would think it was less respectful. But it could be, everything's based on your own perspective and your own individual.
Right. Next
thoughts.
time, tell him, get your face up on that couch. I'm using that nose.
I don't know if anyone would really be interested in a nose that's like a very small penis.
Well, if it's
Right.
for the clit, that's what I'm saying. I guess I'm imagining the nose,
Just go right.
just being rubbed
You'd have
against.
to be very forceful, I think.
I'd hope I didn't break my nose. I would hope my nose could hold up. Some women, they are rubbing.
Their nose?
No, they're
Oh,
clit.
yeah, that's that's what I'm saying.
But that's the thing with, sex. You're like, you don't know. Everyone's different. Every woman's different. Like guys, automatic trim,
Right.
but then sometimes it's like, you get some women that are like, rub
Hard-
that nose
harder
on my
or less,
clit.
right, yeah.
And then some are like, no, stop it. Like
It's too much, right.
Just go like this. And you're like, wow, you really get off to.
Right.
Some women got off from listening to the sound of my,
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
This is
Now
an
you can
ASMR.
say you've been with Jared.
You're welcome. Well, don't do that.
But not really.
Not really. Well, let's do another email.
Let's do it. Okay, I'll read it. I forgot I read it.
Usually you do the next
Sorry,
one.
I forgot I read them. Hi, J&J, longtime listener, big time fan of the podcast. I don't think you've covered this before, so I'm going to get right into it. I just turned 37 a few months after a breakup.
Happy birthday.
HBD. My friend recently forwarded me an email that came to her from another friend. In the email, a 30-something woman was reaching out to her network of close friends and trusted colleagues to help in her search for a partner. The idea is that we network for so many other things, work recommendations, etc., but are reluctant to do the same when it comes to dating. She asked the people who know her best to think of eligible men they think she'd enjoy meeting and to connect them. I talk about my dating life a lot, so most people know I'm single, but I don't think setups are top of mind because everyone's lives are so busy. If I land in their inboxes, maybe I'll land a setup with someone great. I'd love to know your thoughts on doing something like this. Does it come across as too hardcore or desperate/pathetic at 37? Is it a good way to find those weak ties when big events with friends are few and far between at this age? Jordana, would you consider this approach if you were still single? Jared, I know it isn't a PowerPoint presentation, but what would you think if someone tried to set you up with someone who put an email like this out there? Thanks for all you do. You've got mail, spelled like a man.
It's a great sign off. I just have one question. How big are her titties? No,
Send pics. No.
How would you do this?
I think I might. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's because to me, if she's saying it's to close friends or colleagues, people who know her very well,
right? I
think it's fine.
Well, it's funny that she's receiving this email like, look at this bitch. You know, like,
but then she's like, well, maybe I should do it.
I know, but it's funny that like this was sent to people in good faith, and then one of them was like, check this idiot out.
Right.
Like, send it to her. That's
fear.
why she's reading.
Your fear is that you come off as like a desperate loser. Right?
I don't think it's desperate.
I don't think so at all.
I'll start it. I don't think it's desperate.
Okay.
I'll start at that. I don't think it's desperate. I think it's good to go to when you sell life insurance. I go to your natural market.
Right.
This is
setting people to work.
Right. Go. Yeah. Let the mailman work for you. Let the email work for you. You get all your foot soldiers to go out but I think there's a couple things that, like, if I was presented with this.
Let's say you wouldn't be presented with, you're saying someone to set you up with.
I got an email from someone that's looking to be set up.
Well, that would be if the person said it like that. Or if
but this is the problem with setups is like, I guess my email would be very specific, and doesn't matter how specific you get, you're gonna have people do it in a way you don't want them to do it.
Okay.
But I guess when someone comes to me with like their single friend, I just want to know like why I was thought of. Again, key of me. I'm the star of my movie. Like, I don't want to just go on, especially at 37, 38. I'm 38 now. Like, and I'm sure she feels the same way. You want to go out with people that are like, you know, that are thought of. And I think with a lot of women, they do this is a single friend.
Right.
Men, I've set up my friends. It is never, when men do it in general, or when I've done it as a man, it's been, I don't give a fuck. One, you two can hate each other for the rest of your lives. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
It's not, my relationship will be the same with both of you. I'm pretty positive. Okay. So, one, I don't give a fuck. Two, I'm not setting people up. I didn't think, there's got to be a specific reason that I think of them to for each other.
Okay.
I just wouldn't be like, my single guy friend, I'm not just trying to pawn off single dude. I'm going, oh, if he comes, he came to mind. Right. It would have to be the person came to mind. And I think that's a better setup, in my opinion.
I agree that's preferred.
Absolutely.
Preferred.
So what happens in this is there's a lot of dead ends that are going to come your way.
Right.
And a lot of like dead ends that are fraught with danger of friendships and all those things.
Okay.
So that's like, again, these are all warnings. I don't think it's
you're saying there's a scenario in which people try to set you up because you seem like you really want it. And so they go out of their way to set you up with someone that's just not a good match for you.
Right. And you end up getting frustrated and annoyed with your friend, and your friend gets annoyed with you. And, you know, they show you a picture and you go, that's not my type. And then you have to tell your friend, you know, it's just like, I think they have to be I think this is done just as well. I don't think an email changed. I think saying it over lunch with friends.
I agree that's preferred. That's how I would go about it.
Right. I think an email, she thinks an email changes things. I don't think it
An email
does.
I agree with you. An email makes it less personal.
Right.
And so it feels like you're kind of prompting people to do something they wouldn't ordinarily do. But if I did this, I would have the expectation that most people still wouldn't have anyone.
Right. Yeah. But that's why it's not that bad of an idea. It's not a bad idea or desperate.
Right.
Because you're just like, to me, it's, I don't know. I wouldn't look down on someone if they said to me, I got an email from a friend, she's single, she's like really kind of out there looking. And I thought you guys, I was actually thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's what they have to say. Like when you're friend, they have to say to me, and I'm just saying like, what would turn me on? I was actually thinking about it, and
What was what?
You two really do kind of would get along.
Right.
I need that person to say that. If they just go, they're single, you have nobody.
Well, that's how you set someone. That's what I'm saying. That's just someone who doesn't know how to set someone up. If I got this email, here's what if I'm thinking about it, I received this email. I received this email from this person. My first thought is thinking through all the single men that I know in my head.
Well, hold on. You wouldn't think, are they cool?
Well, I know this person. Right?
Everyone you know is cool?
What do you mean?
You get this email from someone that you're like, they're a pain in the fucking ass, but you're friendly with.
She said it's my close friend.
Okay, I'm just
So
saying,
right,
you know,
okay.
like, but you got to be set up a
Well,
boat.
there's a person for everyone, right? You always say that too.
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of like, even if they are kind of a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Even if I don't even really like them that much, but they think I do.
Who could handle?
In my mind,
Right.
there's a match for everyone.
You're right.
And I enjoy setting people up. So when I see this email, I saw this email, I would immediately think about all the single people I knew, and then I would think who could be a good match for this person. It wouldn't be like, oh, everyone. Let me contact every single person I know. I would say among the single people, the single guys I know, would anyone be a good match for this person? And then if I did, and I tried to if I could think of someone, and I wouldn't necessarily think of someone, but if I could think of someone, I might, if I contacted them, I wouldn't say she sent an email. That to me would be like making her look a little bit more desperate than is necessary. I would just say, I know a person.
I'm just saying, I guess what I'm saying in response to that is you're the best person. You know more than the average Joe or Jane.
Sure. I'm probably better at a setup than
You're
others.
the best.
Thank you.
That what you just explained is more thoughtful than 99% of people. 99% of people, you know,
I mean, you know this from your DMs.
I know, yeah. I know this from my DMs. I know this from my parents. I know this from everyone who's ever tried to set me up. 99% of people are below what you just said.
Right.
You know, and I would say 50% of those people are forward the email to the person. Hey, this chick's looking for someone.
Oh my God.
Like, I think people are really don't give a, like, so that's why.
Well, now that I know that, I would never send this email.
That's what I'm saying. I just, these are my warnings to her. Like,
I would say it at lunch, maybe. I would start off with that.
I'm looking for someone.
Yeah.
Have you ever? Yeah. And I think, but even the weak ties thing that she brings up, that's from our episode with, who'd we have on? The professor.
She wrote the book about being in your 20s. What was her? It was like The Defining Decade. What was the author of The Defining Decade?
Go check out The Defining Decade. She was a great guest.
It was a great book. I really liked it. Meg J.
Yeah. When she talked about weak ties, it wasn't the people you would email.
That's true. Yeah, this isn't a good example of weak ties. That's a good point.
So that's another thing. It's like your friends, your close friends are going to go, you've become now a burden to them. The friendship has become more work for them than it is for you.
Right.
So I don't know how this email, like,
weak ties, right? Weak ties is more like you go to a wedding, you're seated next to someone, you're seated next to a couple that you don't know, and you're talking to them, and they're like, "Oh, are you dating anyone?" You say, "No, I'm single." If you happen to know anyone, they think you're a great time. They had a lot of fun with you. Those people set you up. That's a weak tie.
I think this is a better. If I was to brainstorm with this person, I think this email sent to your friends is more to set up a party where they all bring friends. This goes back to my friend luck.
Idea. Yeah.
The friend luck provides.
Yes.
And if you went to to me, this email's better. You're better suited. Like, let's give incentives. Your friends all want. You said there's less big parties. There's less times where we get together. Well, let's create a time where we get together.
Yeah.
Fall's on the horizon. Football season's a coming.
Plan it.
Let's get something in the books where it's a fun fall back from the. I mean, we're taping this 2 weeks into August. Welcome back, students. But you do it for your friends who are out of college. Syllabus week party.
Right.
Boom. You do a syllabus week party.
But she's saying, I'm 37. My friends most of her friends are probably married with kids. So she's probably like, I don't think anyone's going to come to my funny, fun idea.
I would say they're more likely to come to your funny, fun idea than they are to say, well, Robert has been looking. I just think, and then, hey, bring a friend. I'm opening this up to any friends you want to bring. And you get a month ahead. My friends with kids, if you're a month ahead, you're okay.
Okay. Start planning.
I just think that your email is better. I think you're going to get more out of the email that's like, hey, let's have this fun time, a daytime hang where you're please bring your friends that I may have never met.
Right.
Is going to be more fruitful than, does anyone know anyone? And I'm making her sound desperate, which I don't think she sounds at all.
Right. But I mean, I guess the idea of even sending the email seems less casual. The idea with dating is you do want to make it feel a little bit more casual if you can. Not that you're looking for something casual, but just that you are enjoying your life and having fun. But I agree with you in that the idea of like sending out a formal email in itself, if you heard someone had sent out an email, it might make the going into the whole thing seem a little less fun, a little bit more formal.
And more serious right away. You know,
Right.
you go, and that's why I would want to know why I was thought of.
Right.
You know, because I don't want to just go out with anyone who's looking to really buckle down and date. You know, I better be a fucking match.
Right. No, I agree. And I think that to me, that was obvious. Like, of course, the prerequisite is that someone is a match. And by 37, I would hope most people setting people up would know that.
No, 37, if you have kids, 2 single people, they're faceless,
That's true.
nameless.
Oh, that's true. I mean, no, parents always set you up with the worst people.
Yeah,
too.
you're a Jew, that's a Jew, go make more
Actually,
Jews.
though,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, so like,
And they think all youth is beautiful. That's the other thing. Like they'll think, no, it's true. They think anyone who's young is attractive.
yeah.
And it's just not. I mean, it's just not the case. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not. I'm sorry.
That's our message from this podcast.
But do you not feel like
No,
that?
I know.
Like, some people's grandparents, they're just like they're so like they're young and they're
No.
attractive, but like that's just not how
Also-
individuals work with attraction.
Right, to change it up a little bit, like not everyone's type. You know, you
That's
go
what I'm saying.
more important.
That's what I meant to say. Do you know what I'm saying?
I got you. We write that.
Attractive to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing. When you go, not my type, they go, whoa, look
Mr.
at you,
Picky.
Mr. Picky. Oh, I didn't know I was dealing with Brad Pitt over here. And you're like, I'm garbage too, but I'm someone's
Looking
garbage.
for your specific garbage. Ready to play some games?
Let's do it.
This week we're playing Thirsty or Nah, sponsored by Stanley. Whether you're headed to a pickup game or you're cheering on your crush, Stanley's Ice Flow Flip Straw Tumbler is essential for your summer hydration. Plus, the new Ice Flow Varsity Collection features stripes or mesh reminiscent of throwback athletic wear, but with a modern retro feel. So here's how we play Thirsty or Nah. We have a few scenarios from listeners for which we need to determine whether someone's being too thirsty, meaning are these dating moves overeager to the point of weird or nah? And could it lead to a relationship?
So I'm holding the Varsity Ice Flow Varsity Collection. It is great. It is perfect to toss into your bag. That's like the big part of it.
You will feel like a professional tennis player.
Absolutely. And I just love the little handle. Just a great item here.
It makes me want to go back to college.
Very fall, very syllabus week. We love it.
Love it.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
He asks you for your number in the library. I was studying late in the library and noticed the guy sitting at the next table glance over a few times. By the time I'd packed up and was about to leave, he motioned to catch my attention. I took my earbud out and he asked for my number. I was caught a little off guard, so I didn't give it to him. What would you do? What's going on here?
What?
Why wouldn't you take?
I don't.
If you have
you're
no
saying why is
interest-
that weird? Yeah, I don't think it's thirsty at all.
at all?
Yeah. Someone saw you, thought you were attractive, and asked for your number.
Total nah.
I agree.
That's the
It's a nah.
game here. This is what we're doing. You know, It
Not
is
weird.
funny that like
You could not be interested, but that doesn't mean you could
Different
not
story.
be interested and someone could not be thirsty, and both things could be true.
absolutely.
Yes.
And also, I mean, it's funny that like I read this and I'm like, have we been on the internet that long that like this very normal interaction
That
is
used
now
to
weird?
right. That in our day, that would
Back
happen
in my-
all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
At the library, that's where you meet someone. You're someone who's trying to, be better in school. You're
Yeah.
trying, this is to me
In college, the library was like a social scene.
total social scene. And it's like, to me, I'm like, good for that. That guy was I don't know the genders, but like, you're an adult,
Yeah.
like, I
I don't think it's
know.
weird at all.
I think it's weird to think it's weird.
I agree. You're a not.
All right, let's do another.
Okay. This guy hit on me in the same way and didn't remember. This guy approached me, dropped a pickup line, and I wasn't into it, so nothing came of it. People have to meet IRL somehow, so if it's a hello or general flirting, do what you have to do. Except 2 weeks later, I'm at the same local spot, and the same guy approaches me, dropping the same line. At that point, are you actually into me or flirting like it's your job?
It's funny, two people from two different sides of the aisle. One, like, how could someone talk to me? And the other person, like, you got to talk to people somehow,
Right.
But about this one, it is, I mean, I saw a guy do this once.
Really?
I was at a
To
bar.
multiple people?
He just kept going person to person at the bar, just like, kind of like trying to like, it was very like, the guy from the VH1 show. It was very mystery, very pickup artisty.
Right.
Like he was just going up from person to person. I think having a line in the to begin with.
That you use on multiple people. I think this is very thirsty.
They're totally thirsty.
Very thirsty.
Yeah. If he had just said
He's in it-
hi,
Yeah.
no line, I don't think it's thirsty. It's
To the same person twice who's rejected them?
Well, you see him once at different occasions. Hey, how are you? But when it's a line, that's why it's like when it's
I think even if it was
is your dad a baker? Because look at those buns. Like I don't know. Like,
I think even if it was like a ask out attempt. Like I think if this guy with like let's bring it back to the
asking
first one.
twice is
Yeah,
thirsty.
I think
Yeah.
asking twice is definitely thirsty. If someone says no the first time,
Right. Yeah, I guess that's fair. You're right.
I mean, I
'Cause,
guess
like,
men
why-
men could think it's like romantic, but I think it's kind of like annoying.
What if it's okay, so let me give a different scenario. It comes over to you. Hey, how are you? You start talking. Hey, can I get your number? You're like, no, I'm actually, I'm just not looking at a date right now. Okay.
Okay.
Then 2 weeks later, hey, good to see you again. You're like, hey, good to see you. How you been? And you guys have another conversation, but it's like a very nice.
The next time,
You're like, how you been? And you kind of take it as like, oh, maybe he's just looking to be friends. And he kind of misunderstands that. And he's like, well, she's talking to me.
Still thirsty.
Still thirsty.
because I think that's kind of like you say. I mean, you say this all the time, where men don't think that like a no is a no, or like or not. That's not what you say. That's not what you say. That's not what you say. No, like I think men have such a big ego that
Right.
they don't think that you're not into them.
I could understand, especially in person. You meet at a bar, you meet at the library, and you have a nice conversation. They ask for your number, and you say, no, I'm not really looking to date right now, which is a normal
Right.
human, non-confrontational way to go.
Mhm.
I can understand 2 weeks, a month later, he comes back, you have a nice conversation. He's like, maybe she's ready to date now. I could understand
No, if
the
you've asked me
offer.
out and I've said no,
it's a no forever.
It's a no until I'll tell you if I change my mind.
Don't call me. I'll call you.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
I know you're into me.
Right.
If I change my mind, you'll know.
Right.
It's like there's
fair.
no reason you have to keep making me uncomfortable and having to like
Sure.
reject you multiple times. I think you would feel the same way if you reject if a woman wanted to go on a date with you, you said I'm not dating right now, and then they asked you again 2 weeks later, you would be like, I think a little. I don't want to have to be this person again.
You're right. I would be put off by it. I guess I'm bringing up a scenario that we don't see as much often anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The scenario that would annoy me is like a DM. Hey, we should go out, and then I'm like, I'm very flattered and I don't want to go out. And then 2 weeks later, another DM because I liked their
Right.
response to something. You're right. I would be put off. You're right. That would be thirsty.
I just think it's kind of like you ask someone once, they say no, they'll let you know if they change their
right.
mind.
They know where to find you.
I would if I let's say this guy, we had a good conversation after the first time he asked me out, and I thought I was starting to like him more.
You would ask for the number.
I would ask for his number. I would make it known. Hey, I know, is that offer still available? I'm looking to date now.
I think you're right. You're right. Thirsty.
Thirsty to me.
You
Thirsty.
pushed me to Thirsty Town.
Yes. Okay.
One more.
Let's do it. You want to read it?
He tried to use my dog as a reason to start hanging out again. My college boyfriend and I broke up pretty soon after we entered the real world. We started having different lives and interests. I wanted to spend more time with my dog, and he wanted to act like one.
Okay. I hope they didn't.
I mean, is this Carrie Bradshaw?
Right. I assume she's joking, but like, do you think she's joking about wanting to spend more time with her dog?
I think it was a
right?
device to get to him acting like a dog, right?
Okay, yeah.
I can only assume.
Hysterical.
If someone said,
Okay. And then I got to thinking,
Right.
Are men like dogs?
I unfollowed and muted from my socials, but didn't mind that he still followed my dog's Insta. After more than a few months of radio silence, he randomly DM'd my dog's account with a picture of a puppy and said, "New dog needs friends. Playdate?" Friends is F-U-R-E-I-N-D-S. It's a thirsty.
This is
for
thirsty
me.
to me
Yeah,
too,
this
because
is-
especially if you're I think anytime you're an ex and you come back in a way that isn't acknowledging the situation is a thirsty, annoying ass situation.
Right. There's no like, hey, I want to make a fix. I'm not a dog
Right.
anymore. I'm not looking at, I've made mistakes. I've gone to therapy. I've
You're
been
just
thinking
trying to
about
pretend
us.
nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah.
No, bark, bark. Yeah. That's not
Right.
really acknowledging the gravity of coming back.
Exactly.
It's just like, you got a puppy. Like, I don't
Right.
know. It's as cheesy as, the line that she used.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
Like, I don't know.
All right. Thirsty.
Thirsty. Both stylish and functional. Stanley's Ice Flow Tumbler Varsity Collection. I'm holding it. You can see it on YouTube. It is a beautiful piece. It is awesome, and you can just toss it in a bag, bring it wherever you want. It's here just in time for the back-to-college shopping season. The Ice Flow Tumbler keeps your drink ice cold on those sweltering summer days. It's easy to carry, handle, makes it the best back-to-campus tumbler for toting your beverages to those early morning classes. Never look or be thirsty again thanks to Stanley. And you can try Stanley for yourself by visiting stanley1913.com.
Well, we did it.
We solved dating again.
Look at us. So impressed.
Back next week and with a Netflix special.
Yes.
That'll be out. Set the reminders. 37 and single.
Check it out. The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow @u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.